Okay, I had an interruption there by therapy. So, all done. I'm exhausted. All right. For not for therapy. I'm not sending you to therapy. This is caring for your wheelchair. You have it now. And so here are some suggestions. Um, for power wheelchairs, it's important for you to remember somehow that to charge it every night. Just your new routine. You lay down to bed, you plug in your power wheelchair. So your manual wheelchair, just put it where you feel most comfortable, probably close to the bed. If I have a concern with caregivers taking the wheelchair out of your room because if there's an emergency or whatever you happen to need it, it's not going to be there. So my suggestion is to have the wheelchair next to your bed. Clean your wheelchair once a month, and that's for manual wheelchairs or power wheelchairs. And there's a couple of different things, and I will connect the video about cleaning your power wheelchair or manual wheelchair. With manual wheelchair, it could be a little different on cleaning, but I think it would do okay with the one I have. It won't do anything to the painting, and you could wash the covers of your cover of your cushion. So just once a month. You can also just brush it off. I have a brush here. I have a brush here. It's just, I sit, on my uh, recliner and I just brush off my power wheelchair. I just turn it around. You have to have some skill to do that because you don't want to run over your feet. so, so, it's just a brush that I use and I brush off my power wheelchair and then I don't have to use any water or soap or anything. You can do the same thing for manual wheelchairs. Let's see what was next. Oh, there we go. For your wheels, for manual wheelchairs or power wheelchairs, be checking your tires. If your tires begin to chip or crack or look a little miserable, some of us use our power wheelchairs or manual wheelchairs really hard. So make sure they are in good shape, okay? Change them when you need to. Every 2 years for the power wheelchair, we can change our, let me see, what can we can change our tires, is it? We can change our batteries, sorry. So every 2 years, we can change our batteries and check on the tires. I think it's also covered. But if you see your tires splitting, chipping, looking miserable, you want to talk to your therapist to see if it's covered by insurance to change your wheels. You want those wheels in good shape, manual wheelchairs or power wheelchairs. So you want to make sure they're in good shape. Don't let things go. That was a note. I saw a gal who came into therapy. Her wheels were a disaster. And I was like, the therapist was even shocked. I was like, oh my goodness. Because that affects your body. And, if it's a manual wheelchair, how you wheel it, oh, it's awful. So this was a power wheelchair. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because that makes the battery work harder. It just throws the power wheelchair off. It's awful. So you really want to get those tires changed. And she didn't know that she could change the tires and it'd be covered by insurance in her case. And the therapist, just scheduled her to go into the garage and get her all her wheels changed. It was awful. So that's really important. Okay, batteries every 2 years for power wheelchairs. Every 2 years you can get them changed. I just had mine changed. I had ion. I want to say ion power wheelchairs. I wrote it down somewhere. So I wanted to make sure I asked. And the mechanic told me that the insurance companies are now requesting that we have the other type of wheel batteries. Let me check that real quick because I'm just reading here. Okay, I got gel batteries. So my gel batteries are working just fine. They're sealed. It is approved by the airlines. So when they change your batteries on your power wheelchair, you're going to get gel batteries, gel batteries. And it's in a sealed container. So there's no problem with the airlines. The other is and it says here those batteries last between a fully charged wheelchair is designed to provide around 8 hours of use and last between 1 and 2 years. Your battery's actually lifespan, however, will depend on a variety of factors. So including how often you use your wheelchair, the amount of weight that you transport, the type of terrain you use it on, and whether you are charging your wheelchair battery properly. So that means you need to really remember to charge it every night. So that's really important. So for gel batteries or the other hard type batteries, wheelchair batteries are 12-volt batteries. However, most wheelchairs are powered by a 24-volt system. That means that you need two 12-volt batteries in order to run most electrical wheelchairs. When shopping for wheelchair batteries, it's important that both batteries have the same chemistry and battery capacity, which is measured in amp hours. Not sure what an amp hour is? No worries. An amp hours is just a fancy way of telling you how much amperage a battery can provide for exactly 1 hour. The more amp hours in a battery, the longer your wheelchair will be able to run. So that's important. The two different types of batteries are the deep cycle AGM, short absorbed glass mat batteries, and the gel batteries. So both are type of sealed lead acid SLA batteries. SLA batteries produce electricity through a series of chemical reactions that take place between the plates packed into them and surface sulfuric acid solutions called electrolytes. The basic difference between AGM and gel batteries stems from difference in how the electrolytes is stored inside the battery. So, and to me, these batteries, one is not better than the other. They're batteries. They're just built different. They have a different type of chemistry, but they do the same thing, and they run your power wheelchair. So that's what you want to know. So I'm just looking at the rest of information here, but I will attach this so you can read it, especially those who are interested in electrical things and how all of this functions. So that the batteries, no matter which ones they are, just plug them in every night. That'll keep them healthy, and they will last longer. And then you won't have trouble during the day, and especially if you're traveling for a trip. You might say, Lisa, I don't use my power wheelchair much. It just sits there. I only use it when I go out, or I use it when I'm in pain. I don't use it every day. So, then you need to charge it every other day to keep it in a pattern so that the battery stays healthy. So that's the plan. If you use it every day, then every night plug it in so that you're ready to go and there's no issues. There was a gal. She was a wife in the airport, and we were talking about power wheelchairs, and she said, my husband sometimes forgot to charge his power wheelchair, and then I would end up pushing him, and he had no idea how heavy that is, because it's not only pushing her husband, but pushing a very heavy power wheelchair. So I'm going to tell him, he said, I'm going to tell him to plug it in every night so I don't have to push him anymore. So, it has to be a routine that you get into. If you let the power wheelchair without charging for a long time, the battery could totally lose their charge. So you don't want that to happen. So my strong suggestion is that if you use it every day, then you charge it every night. If you're using it every other day, then you want to charge it every other day. So that's really important to keep the batteries charged so that you don't run out of juice in the middle of something. So I'm hoping this is helpful. I certainly will give you the link to this article so you can read it. Some people are really interested in electricity, electrical stuff, how the battery works, what the difference is between gel and the other battery. It has a different name now. But just know that the insurance companies are requesting gel batteries because they're a little bit cheaper. So it's a cost-effective thing. But the gel batteries are approved by airlines, so that's important. They're safe to use, and I have felt no difference between the previous battery I had and now the gel battery. I don't feel any difference. So actually, I feel like it's a little bit better. Like my wheelchair powers up quicker for some reason. So, and one of the techs told me that my regular power wheelchair, which is a Jazzy Select 6, was made for gel batteries. So I think it feels better now. It feels happier with me because it's using the gel batteries. So I'm glad it feels happier. So I'm hoping that this video is helpful in terms of caring. What are the essential things that you need to do to care for your power wheelchair? In manual wheelchairs, it's just the cleaning and keeping track of your tires to make sure they don't fall apart on you, and touch base with your therapist or the store that sold you the wheelchair if your wheels are in a mess because you don't want to ruin the wheelchair and letting those tires go to pot. So I'm just letting you know that the wheels are just as important part of the wheelchair as anything else. All right, folks, this was the second master class. I'm hoping this is useful. Just know that you can watch these master classes in any order. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, and 3. It doesn't have a follow-up, but they're just all master classes so that you can say, okay, what do I do for XYZ? And I will make sure that I put a title on there so you know what it's about, what the master class is about. All right. Feel free to give me a like, subscribe if you want notifications on the next videos, and I will see you in the next master class.